Hey, what is up guys? DRC3 here, back with another My Hero Ultra Impact video, and today we're going to be talking about whether you should pass or pull on the upcoming Springtide, the three-legged race recruit, featuring the brand new UR General Pool Midnight and the new SR General Pool Yaoyorozu, as well as some new memories. So let's go ahead and take a look at the characters, take a look at the memories, and determine if this banner is worth summoning on. Before we even get into talking about Midnight's kit here, I will say, coming up in February, we should be having the global anniversary for My Hero Ultra Impact, the 1-year anniversary, and you can expect really amazing, really insane characters. Of course, we don't have a prerequisite year or another year to compare it to, so there's no guarantee. Maybe they skip global anniversary altogether. We haven't heard any news on it as of yet. I would assume, I think everybody else is assuming there will be a global anniversary with broken characters, and they will not be general pool characters like Midnight. So they have to make Midnight right here very, very enticing in order for us to summon on her, because otherwise most people will probably want to save their gems for the upcoming 1-year anniversary that starts technically around February 13th, but they might start at the beginning of February. We'll have to wait and see. So her plus ultra move is called 7th Whip. It deals 650% damage to a single opponent. If opponent is a male character, increases critical hit rate by 30%, which is insane, and medium chance of 40% of stunning the opponent for 2 turns. So just to give you guys an idea, a 30% crit rate plus, let's say she has another 30% from a memory, she could have a 60% crit rate when targeting a male character. So that is actually really insane. And then medium chance of stunning the opponent for 2 turns, which is 40%. That's honestly pretty good too. If the opponent is a female character, low chance 20% of stunning the opponent for 2 turns. At least she can still stun female characters, albeit it is quite a bit of a lower chance. Her first action skill is called Beauty Spot. It deals 350% damage to a single opponent. If the opponent is a male character, increases critical hit rate by 30%. So there's that again. And medium chance, 40% of stunning the opponent for 1 turn. So same exact thing as her plus ultra. That is already status elements and crits. That is really good for VE Tower. If the opponent is a female character, low chance, 20% of stunning the opponent for 1 turn. Also increases characters plus ultra gauge by 30% when used in a second or later successfully executed skill chain. So this Midnight right here, so far she is checking a lot of my boxes for VE Tower with just her plus ultra move and just her action skill. So the things you're looking for in VE Tower are crit rate, technical hits, status elements, and plus ultra gauge raise, and then also low cooldown. So those are kind of the 5 things we're looking for. And so far she has status elements, she has crit rate, she has plus ultra gauge raise right here, 30%, and she has a technical hit when used in a second or later successfully executed skill chain. So she has already checked off 4 of my 5 boxes. The last box is good cooldown. So if we look right here, 4-turn cooldown is considered good, and a 4-turn cooldown here is also considered good. A 5-turn cooldown is a little less good, but the fact that she has 2 4-turn cooldowns means that I already would bet she is going to be a phenomenal, like amazing VE Tower character. They make these characters that come up right before really big events that are general pool characters very, very hard to pass on. So let's take a look at her second action skill and what it actually does. Her second action skill is called Velvet Kiss. It decreases skill impact of all opponents by 35% for 3 turns. If the opponent is a male character, medium chance of charming them, so now we have a charm that's a different status element, for 3 turns, and medium chance of stunning the opponent for 1 turn. So she has a double status element in 1 action skill. That is ridiculous. If opponent is a female character, low chance, 20% of stunning the opponent for 1 turn. Like, she is going to be amazing when it comes to stunning up male characters, and there are a lot of male characters in VE Tower. And then of course she still has a chance to stun the female characters too, so you could still potentially run her in those VE Tower stages with female characters as well. She is going to be ridiculously good for VE Tower. That is what I see when I look at this character. I see like a really meta, really good UR character for VE Tower. Her first auto skill is called Quiet Down. It increases the critical hit rate of all allied UA high students by 25%. VE Tower, that is absolutely VE Tower made. That is insane. It increases characters' defense by 30% if there are any UA high class 1A characters on the team. Of course, you will probably have UA high class 1A characters on the team. So she's going to increase her defense by 30% as well, which is really insane. And then this last auto skill kind of is geared more towards PvP, because other than that, her whole kit has been PvE. Eyes of a Predator decreases speed of all male opponents by 20%. Once per battle, increases characters plus ultra gauge by 50% when HP is below 50%. So that right there means that I could actually potentially see this Midnight being taken into PvP and being somewhat decent, because she does decrease the speed of all male opponents by 20%, and then she also increases her own defense by 30%. So that is actually decent, and I could see her making a lot of other teams potentially possible that weren't possible before. Like, I could see this character being paired with the new Holiday Threads Todoroki potentially, who increases speed as soon as you come into battle of all your allies, and then she decreases the speed of opponents, and then you increase the defense with Todoroki and this chick, and then you also have maybe Asui, who increases speed and increases defense. That's a lot of defense and speed increase, decreases the power of opponents with the Asui. It decreases the skill impact of opponents with the Todoroki and with the Midnight. Like, I think those three together could be really interesting, to say the least. I do believe in Holiday Threads Todoroki. I believe in Christmas Sue. I believe in Holiday Threads Deku as well, and I think this character is just kind of in that same ballpark as them, where I think she's going to be more useful for VE Tower, but I think you can create some wacky, interesting stuff for PvP potentially in the future. And then let's take a look at her arts. Her Awakened art is actually far better than her Unawakened art this time, in my opinion. Like, this looks absolutely phenomenal. So maybe you're a Midnight simp, maybe you'll be pulling for the art alone. As for the character, I think the character is going to be very, very good for VE Tower. Let's take a look at Yaoyorozu. And so for SRs, we were kind of looking for the same thing, because SRs are mainly good in PvE content. You're never really going to take SRs into PvP. So let's see how good she is for PvE content. Her plus ultra move is called Predict Bomb. It deals 500% damage to a single opponent, medium chance, 50% of burning the opponent for 3 turns. That is actually really good. Shortens character's action skill cooldown time by 1 if the opponent is an int type character. So if you take on a VE Tower with an int type character, which I believe the speed stage is coming up next with the double S difficulty, and there are some int type characters in there, you will actually be able to decrease your action skill cooldown time by 1. So these cooldown times of 5 on this first action skill and the second action skill actually become cooldown times of 4, which makes her a very good or decent choice for VE Tower. Her first action skill, I'm going to attempt to say this, Matryoshka, probably said that so wrong, deals 250% damage to all opponents, increases in skill impact by 30% when used successfully in a successfully executed skill chain. So that is a technical hit. Also decreases the defense of all int type opponents by 15% for 3 turns. That can also be useful in VE Tower. Decreasing defense makes it so you can get the amount of turns, or get the VE Tower done in the amount of turns you want. So that's also useful. Her second action skill is called Defensive Wall. It reduces damage to all allies by 20% for 3 turns, increases the plus ultra gauge of all strength type allies by 30%, also shortens the action skill cooldown time of all strength type allies, excluding self, unfortunately, by 1. But the plus ultra gauge does not exclude herself, so she can basically give herself plus ultra gauge by 30%, which is pretty decent. And then if you happen to have any other strength type allies on your team, she will also increase the plus ultra gauge of them. Reducing damage to all allies really isn't going to be that important in VE Tower. It's rarely ever important, but it's a nice little addition for getting through VE Tower. Her first auto skill is called Leader Operation. It increases the skill impact of all ally strength type characters by 25%. That's decent. Once again, not really super important to VE Tower. And then her second auto skill is called Noblesse Oblige. It decreases skill impact of all int type opponents by 20%. Once again, not really useful. So she's like a VE Tower character that lets your character survive, which just hasn't really been important in VE Tower. Like, you're not gonna need that. What she can do though is she has a technical hit here. She has plus ultra gauge raise, and she has a status element. So she has kind of 3 of the things we're looking for. Well, 4 of the things we're looking for, because technically we're looking for low cooldowns too, which she can have. The only thing she is missing is crit rate. So the fact that she doesn't have crit rate kind of sucks, but other than that, she's actually going to be an okay VE tower unit. I would say she could be used in certain circumstances against green type units, but because she is so impaired by that green type stipulation, it's going to be a little bit harder to use her. So I would say she's kind of like a meh character, not a character you need necessarily, a character that might be nice to have in certain situations, but you can definitely get by without her. The new UR memory is called Will Protect It. It increases characters' critical hit rate by 40% when equipped by a pro hero. That is ridiculous. Increases characters' critical skill impact by 15% for 3 turns when used in a successfully executed skill chain. Really good because that makes you hit harder and is a technical hit, and then increases characters plus Ultra Gauge by 10% when used in a second or later successfully executed skill chain. That is a double technical with plus Ultra Gauge raise and critical hit. That is going to be one of the best VE tower memories for pro heroes. It is actually going to be really, really insane. Throw this on Midnight and you got an insane VE tower character. So this is a really good VE tower memory, and of course the artwork looks amazing. Lastly, we have the new SR memory, Shut Your Trap and Trust Me. Increases character's power by 40% when equipped by a UA high class 1A character. Increases plus Ultra Gauge of all allies by 20% every time every time a character defeats an opponent. So that would have been really good if he just increased plus Ultra Gauge of all allies by 20% automatically. But the fact that it has the stipulation of every time you defeat an opponent kind of sucks, because that's not really going to be useful to you unless you're like in PvP where you need just plus Ultra spams, but that really hasn't come to term yet. That's not really a team that happens yet that succeeds. So not really going to be super important. It won't really work in VE Tower. And then the first part of the effect increases character's power by 40% when equipped by a UA high 1A character. That's good, but we have other UR memories that do the same thing with crit and stuff like that. So yeah, you're just probably not really going to find a lot of uses for this memory if you have the better versions of this memory, essentially, because there's other memories that do similar things to this. So overall, looking at this SR memory, the new UR memory, the new SR Yaoyorozu, and the new UR Midnight, let's talk about whether this banner is a pass or a pull. So Midnight right here is definitely like really, really good, and I would recommend pulling for her if you can. She's going to be an amazing VE Tower unit if you are trying to climb a VE Tower and you like VE Tower. If you don't like doing VE Tower, then you might want to pass on her because she's not going to be the best PvP character. For Yaoyorozu is an easy pass for me because she doesn't have a whole lot going on with her kit. She's kind of difficult to use and she'll be a situational character, and I think you'll be able to get by just fine with all the other SRs that are in the game. For the memory, once again, VE Tower oriented, a very, very good, perhaps one of the best pro hero VE Tower memories in the game to come out. Definitely a pull for this one if you're trying to place high in VE Tower. As far as PvP, once again, not really going to be super important to you. And then lastly, the new SR memory, Shut Your Trap and Trust Me. As I said, there's just better memories that do the same thing, so this is an absolute pass as well. So 2 out of the 4 things you're going to want on this banner, and they are the 2 URs that are actually going to be harder to pull. The SRs don't really have any value. And then also I have to remind you what I said at the beginning of the video. The anniversary is probably coming up in February, like 90% sure. We haven't heard anything necessarily yet, but you know, if they do a JP 1.5 year anniversary, they're definitely going to do the global 1 year anniversary. Like they have to do that, right? So there's going to be some broken characters coming up. I would recommend overall, if you don't care about VE Tower and you don't need VE Tower characters or memories, you should definitely pass on this, because remember, this is a general pool banner. You can potentially save your gems, not summon on this banner, summon on the 1 year anniversary banner and get these characters and memories, because it is a general pool character and a general pool memory. So my recommendation to everyone, this is like the easiest thing you could ever do. Pass on this banner. Do not summon on this banner, even if you are a simp for Midnight, because you will get her at some point. I promise you, she is a general pool character. When you go and do your 10,000 hero gems worth of summons on the 1 year anniversary banner, if you have saved up your hero gems, you will more than likely get this Midnight or the memory. So I would highly recommend passing on this banner. Now, of course, if you really want a good VE Tower character or a good VE Tower memory, then you might want to summon on this banner. Of course, you know I will be doing a couple of summons on this banner as well, so I will do it for you guys. Make sure you go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button with the notification bell turned on so you guys can see when that video goes live, and I will be making some dumb decisions trying to get this midnight, and then, yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But I have been shafted a lot lately, and I'm a little bit nervous about pulling on this because I'm not going to pity on a general pool character with the anniversary right around the corner, but fingers crossed we will get her. Anyways, guys, that is the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please go down there, like I said, hit that like button, leave me some comments about how you feel about this character. Will you be passing or pulling? And thank you guys for watching. Peace.